Hi guys, BJ here. Today we are working on a 2015 Skoda Octavia and we're going to be fitting a dash cam to the fuse box of the vehicle so the camera goes on and off when you turn the ignition on and off. Obviously you don't want them staying on all the time, flattening the battery, so this is an ideal solution to plugging them in the fag lighter and having a dangly wire down the middle of your window screen. Now to fit this camera to the vehicle, like on a lot of my other videos where I've shown you how to do this, I'll be using one of these wiring kits. It's made by Nextbase. You can get all the brands from Amazon and eBay, etc. Comes with a main power cable. It replaces the power cable that comes with your camera, and on the end there is like a mini USB connection to power your camera. Bit of a filter there, and then you've got a plus and a minus, obviously minus being an earth. And obviously the red cable being the power there that you're going to put to a fuse. Now in the box you get fuse spurs which look like this. It's got a bullet connector on the end of it there, and basically it doubles up one of your fuse sockets in your fuse box to a double one. So in other words, the fuse that's already in there will run your camera, and the gap at the side is where you plug the fuse that you've removed from your fuse box into there, and basically shove the thing in your fuse box. It doubles up the socket and creates a switched power supply for your camera. Now some cars aren't fitted with these micro mini blade fuses rather. This is a mini blade, you also get micro blade, and you also get the slightly more old-fashioned larger fuse blades like that. Skoda Octavia normally using the mini blade fuse. In the pack you also get one of these. It's basically an interference filter, and you wrap it around the power cable. It opens up, it's got some little clickers on the side of it there, look. Wrap it around your power cable as near the camera as possible, especially if you've got DAB radio, this will help, okay? So in other words, here's your power cable, yeah, and this end, which plugs in the camera, you want to wrap your filter sort of here, quite near it in other words. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and basically prepare the cable. I normally put some little little spacers or cable wideners on it just to stop it from falling down from in the head lining. I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so we skip forward slightly here as if by video editing magic. I mean, doing this job you normally give yourself about an hour, you know, to do it comfortably without rushing it, and you don't want to rush it because plastic trim can break. Right, so there's your little filter there, your little ferrous one put on. Like I say, just open it up. It spreads open, and then you just wrap the cable around it. Nice and easy. And then what I normally do, little trick of mine, you don't have to do this, but there's some big potholes in the road, and if you hit one, you don't want your cable dangling down in the front of your vision while you're driving along. Wrap a cable tie around it, and obviously snip the end off your cable tie. And then I cover it in electrical tape just to stop any sharp edges from the cable tie digging into the head lining above. You can then go ahead and put your cable sort of tucked up underneath here. You can normally get your fingers in and just pull it down enough. If not, something like one of these little plastic leverage tools, a bojo tool as they're called, is quite handy. Get these again off eBay, Amazon, sort of £1. You can just sort of pop them in and lever it down slightly. Don't use a metal screwdriver or anything metal at all. You will either crack the windscreen or, you know, make a mess of your head lining. So you do need a plastic one. Plastic scraper maybe, that'd do it, you know, filler scraper even, that'd do the job. But yeah, you just want to pull it down, and basically you're going to be tucking the cable once you've tidied it up underneath it. So there we go, we've tucked our cable nice and neatly up and under, all the way along to where the screen pillar is. When you get to this part here, you're going to be pulling this out and basically moving the rubber seal away from it. So you're going to need the door open, you're going to lever it open. Like so. So we've got our plastic leverage tool in, creating a bit of a space here to put the cabling down. Link it round over the top, and then all we're going to do with that is just tuck it in, down there, all the way around until you can't see any of it at all. Just get rid of all of it. Tuck it well down and into this corner here. Sorry if the camera's a little bit shaky guys, it's currently -3 degrees here in sunny England, and working outside is always good fun, as I'm sure you're well aware. So tuck your cable all the way down, right down the edge here, until you get to this panel on the end of the dashboard. When you get to that panel at the end of the dashboard, you need your plastic leverage tool, because you're going to pop that off completely. Okay, so we come down to this panel, get your leverage tool, just pop it in the little gap down there. It's on clickers, it's on like poppers all the way around, sort of plastic press studs. You just pop it all the way off, all the way around, gently, you know. Don't put anything metal in there to pop it with, like a screwdriver, because this is plastic. It will leave indents and mess all your trim up. And once you've cracked it up, you are going to end up replacing it to make it look nice again. Let's take that out of the way, put that safe, you're going to need that. And here we have a nice area to mount the earthing point. This bolt here will be connected to our earth, so we'll put a like a circle connector on the end of our earth cable. There we go. It comes with a spade connector. I don't like these, they tend to pull out or snap, they're very feeble. So I normally snip them off and put a nice circular one on and then earth it to that bolt. Just there, look. And then we'll go for the power cable as well. Obviously finish off tucking your power cable down here behind the trim as you're doing it. But we'll skip forward now to the earth being connected and then show you where to put power. Okay, so we've added our earth cable, there you go. All I've done is slid it over the extended stud that's sticking out, a washer over the top of it, and then obviously there's a little 13mm nut I've put just to hold it nice and secure. That's your earth done. You can now go ahead and get the power cable end and feed it through the dashboard to come out. Don't know if you can see the fuses there. The fuse box is behind the glove box on this Skoda. So we've got to drop the glove box down to get to the fuse box and connect that up. Okay, so with the glove box removed, which is basically a simple case of open it, put your hand underneath, pop both the little catchers up, yeah, so the hinges come up and off. At the side you've got a little black stay here and it's on a hook. Just make sure you unhook it carefully. You don't want to put the weight of the glove box lid on it, it will snap, it's only plastic, so take care of that. Actual power wise, we've used a multimeter and assessed that on your fuse box. This particular red fuse here, which is an accessory fuse, goes on and off with the ignition. So if we basically touch the probe on the end of it and made sure it's dead with the ignition off, which it is, 0, look. When you turn the ignition on, that reads 12.5 volts, which is correct. So we'll be using this accessory fuse for our fuse spur. Obviously it will vary depending on model and year of car, but on this particular one, the fourth one from the end here, is our ignition switched. We're going to go ahead and put our fuse spur on that now. Okay, and there we have our fuse spur plugged in, doubled up, cable run up and out the way there. At this point I must point out to you that without stating the obvious, I'm held no way responsible for any damage or personal injury sustained from trying to follow this guide. If you think this is a bit too taxing, make sure you go and pay somebody to get it done, a professional. At the end of the day, if they damage your car, they'll be insured to pay for it and get it all sorted out. Obviously if you damage it, you're paying. Same thing for injury really. So that's your fuse spur put in. All you've got to do now is tidy up all your cabling, yeah, because you've got all this jumbo mumbo, which I'll do now, and then we'll tuck it all out the way and test the camera. Okay, so moment of truth, we've put the end panel back on the dash, click the glove box lid back on. Let's see if this powers up with the ignition on. Let's put the ignition on, and hey presto, there's your dash cam showing it's powered just there, look, little zigzag showing it's charging. If you've got any questions regarding this video or any other car for that matter, it can be anything from a Ford Focus to a, I don't know, a Bentley, anything will do, pop me a line in the comments below, and thank you very much for watching. Bye for now.